Yeah, that's really how I'm feeling right now. Just to like, work on myself and things like that. Try to better myself as a person, as a dad, all around, like human being.
Yeah. Is it the fame? Is it something that you just don't like all the attention? Or
yeah, I'm starting to like shy away from the attention and things like that come with it.
Yeah, because it's like anything you do or say, it's all over the blogs. It's taken the wrong way. It's getting posted.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even be yourself at this point.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, it's getting more so like lame type of thing.
So it's official. The chaos has finally hit the fan. The Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis exhibition fight is off the table, done, cancelled, shut down. And this time, it's not rumor. It's straight from Jake's own most valuable promotions.
Nevertheless, Gervonta, on the other hand, he says something on IG. As soon as he did, everyone thought everything was A-okay. The fight was gonna go on with Jake, but that's not the case. Instead of Gervonta giving his reaction to his canceled exhibition with Jake that he was bragging about, instead he's celebrating the death of Victor Conte. That's as low as you can get. If you was feeling bad for Gervonta, don't feel bad no more. Why would you? Why should you when he's out here celebrating the death of a person who changed his life from bad to good, from worse to better, by doing the right thing?
You can almost hear boxing Twitter gasping in unison like, wait, that's it? If you had tickets, better start planning that backup weekend because Tank's not walking to the Netflix ring anymore. And to make it even wilder, MVPs reportedly eyeing replacements like Anthony Joshua, Francis and Ngannou, and even Terrence Bud Crawford. Yeah, they're trying to turn heartbreak into blockbuster real quick because let's be honest, any of those names stepping in would set the internet on fire all over again.
Yes, this is official. I received an email from Jake Paul Promotion, MVP, Most Valuable. They stated the Gervonta fight is officially off. It's canceled. It will not take place. And they're looking for a replacement, which they don't have it yet. We'll see if that's AJ, Andre Ward, Terrence Bud Crawford, or Francis Ngannou. These names make a whole lot of sense.
And right after the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight got scrapped, here comes Rolly Romero, the human sound effect machine, going off like someone just stole his Wi-Fi. My guy didn't even wait for the dust to settle. He's out here threatening to slap Jake Paul across the face like it's a team-building exercise.
Bro, I'll be ready in a week. I'll be ready to slap Jake Paul across the face in a week. Jake Paul gets knocked out cold by me, bruh. Jake Paul won't fight me, bruh. And Tank would have stopped him. Tank would have knocked him out cold. And I'm bigger and I'm stronger than Tank. Tank would have knocked him out cold.
You can tell he's been holding that one in since breakfast. And honestly, you got to love Relay's confidence. Man said he's ready in a week. Doesn't care if he's drunk and that Jake's scared of him. Bro, the fight just got cancelled. And Relay's already cutting promos like it's WrestleMania. You almost forget this dude had his own rematch drama with Ryan Garcia. He's out here mixing heartbreak, beef, and open mic night energy all in one rant.
Me and Jake fight in 2 weeks. No, and then they want to go waste their time with Ryan. Right, bro, Ryan Garcia done wasted 6 months of my life, bro. Because we're over here trying to figure out the a rematch because me and him obviously had a rematch clause, and then he don't want to fight me. And he wants to go run off and go fight Barrios and waste my time.
But that's Raleigh for you. Unpredictable, unfiltered, and somehow hilarious. Even when he's mad, you can't script this man. You just sit back, grab popcorn, and let him cook. And just when you thought Raleigh's meltdown was the grand finale, man yelling about slapping Jake Paul and calling out half of boxing, Oscar de la Hoya strolls in like the substitute teacher who just can lead recess. The man straight up crushed the internet fantasy of Jake Paul versus Ryan Garcia with one swing of the legal back contracts. He said the scariest word in boxing after mandatory defense.
Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business.
You could practically hear the air leave Twitter when he explained that Ryan's locked with Golden Boy in days in while Jake's Netflix bound. Translation: different playgrounds, same dream-crushing reality. And honestly, Oscar's not wrong. You can't just jump from one streaming platform to another like you're skipping ads. This isn't a crossover episode. It's a multi-million-dollar maze with lawyers hiding behind every corner.
No, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting and when he's fighting next.
But here's where it gets spicy. Oscar wasn't just blocking deals. He was dropping philosophy lessons mid-interview. You could tell he's half promoter, half disappointed dad, saying Ryan needs focus, a new trainer, maybe Big Bear, bro. At this point, Ryan might need a vacation and a therapist before another training camp. But beneath all that Hollywood drama, Oscar's message hit. Boxing is a business, not a group chat fantasy. And whether you love or hate him, he's right about one thing. Ryan Garcia's comeback will either be redemption or the next viral meltdown we can't stop watching.
He loves doing, because I believe that Ryan loves to train. He loves to box. He just needs that to be in that mental state of mind that is going to be just 1,000%, in line, with boxing and fighting and world champion, that's got to be his mentality. So I believe he has it in him. We're just anxious and waiting for his return, and we'll have something ready for you in the next couple of months.
And right after Oscar De La Hoya slammed the legal brakes on the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fantasy, here comes Michael Bisping stepping in like the voice of reason at a family barbecue gone wrong. The man sitting at an airport sipping his coffee and roasting this whole situation like he's been waiting for this all week. He called the idea of Jake Paul fighting Francis Ngannou bloody ridiculous. And honestly, I couldn't even argue. From Tank Davis, a guy who weighs as much as a hotel pillow, to Francis Ngannou, a dude who could punch through a Tesla door. That's not matchmaking. That's chaos theory in motion.
That Jake Paul might be fighting Francis Ngannou, which is just absolutely bloody ridiculous. If you know the situation, it was supposed to be boxing Gervonta Tank Davis, a man that weighs 133 pounds or 135. Regardless, it's a man that is way, way smaller than Jake Paul. So that is just ridiculous, and I've given my thoughts on that before.
You can tell Bisping's thinking, Jake, my brother, pick a weight class before the multiverse collapses. And the best part, he's not even being hateful. He's genuinely baffled like the rest of us. It's like watching someone go from playing chess to wrestling a grizzly bear because they got bored of pawns. But here's where it gets gold. Bisping's tone shifts from "this is insane" to "but if Jake actually does it, I'll respect it." And you know what? Because if Jake steps in with a powerhouse like Ngannou, that's not influencer boxing anymore. That's survival mode. That's right your will before round one kind of courage.
There's no way Jake Paul fights him. If he does, hey listen, I'll be the first one to hold my hand up and say I was wrong. But I just don't think that's going to happen. Nate Diaz, yeah, I do believe that would be a possibility. People are very interested in Jake Paul. He is a phenomenon in that regard.
Still, you can't help but laugh picturing Jake trying to dodge Sledgehammer while Netflix executives whispered, "This is great for engagement." And deep down, we all know we'd tune in. Not for technique, not for legacy, but because watching Jake Paul flirt with disaster might just be the wildest crossover event boxing's ever seen. The type of fight where you don't blink. Not because of suspense, but because you're low-key checking if Jake's still breathing after every punch.
And listen, I will say Jake Paul is definitely improving over the years. You can see the work that he's putting in, so I do respect that. Nothing but respect for anyone that steps foot in the ring, especially boxing, because it is very dangerous. And if Jake Paul was to do that against Francis Ngannou, that'd be a gamble, and I would have to respect it. Simple as that.
And just when you thought the matchmaking chaos couldn't possibly level up, Here comes Francis Ngannou stepping in, not with a punch, but with pure confusion. My guy sounded like he was trying to solve a riddle when Jake Paul's team called. You could almost hear him thinking, wait, Gervonta Davis to me? Are you sure you dialed the right number? Bro was so baffled he asked who's Jake, and honestly that might be the most unintentionally savage response of the year. That's like LeBron asking who's Steph on live TV.
That Francis Ngannou will step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul.
No, there's no such of thing happening. Basically, like how can they go from like Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? Like, I mean, Gervonta Davis is a fantastic boxer, but and is a one-shot knockout artist. But come on, like the weight different and everything, it makes no sense.
Jake's team really tried to go from Tank Davis 135 pounds of dynamite to a man who can knock down walls by sneezing. That's not a replacement. That's a plot twist from a Marvel movie. And the best part, Francis didn't even flinch at the money talk. Tim Z tried throwing out numbers like it was an auction, but Ngannou stood tall like, bro, this ain't about money. This is about logic. Respectfully, he called it nonsense. And he's right. Because imagine that size difference. Jake would need NASA clearance just to step into orbit with Ngannou. You know, it's bad when even Francis's own team thought it was a prank call. He wasn't flattered. He was offended. And I get it. You don't challenge a lion to a pillow fight and call it competition. Francis shut the whole thing down with calm heavyweight confidence, and honestly it might be the most polite knockout we've ever seen outside the ring.
I mean, don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say like they even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He sent out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started talk. I would have tell you, I'm not just interested. It makes no sense for me. It's not my what I'm looking at, right?
So after all that chaos, canceled fights, viral rants, and heavyweight confusion, one thing's clear. This whole Jake Paul saga has officially turned into boxing's version of reality TV. 1 minute it's Tank Davis. Next, it's Raleigh threatening slaps, then Oscar waving contracts, Bisping sipping his tea in disbelief, and Francis Ngannou politely saying, nah, I'm good. It's drama, ego, and entertainment all tangled into one giant headline. But that's why we love it, right? You never know if you're getting a fight announcement or a Netflix documentary teaser. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Jake still fight this year or take a step back and rebuild the hype? Would you actually watch Jake versus Ngannou if it ever happened? Or is that crossing into video game territory? Let's hear it. And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Blaze, where we break the chaos down one jab at a time. See you in the next one.